Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
There you go, team. A little bit of a delay there. I've forgot to take the overlay off. There you go. Well, morning to you all. Happy Wednesday. I almost said marvelous Monday there for a moment in the intro, but no, it's certainly Wednesday, State of Origin Day. Hope you're well wherever you're tuning in from. Might kick off today. Give us a bit of a shout out in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from this morning, folks. Hope you got your coffee. Hope you're warm. Tuning up here from Brizzy. I do have the coat on. I am a little bit cold. A few of the early birds already on. Chris, morning. Good to see you. Bunty's on as well. And Kevin, good morning from me and good evening to you. Good stuff. Luke's on as well. So awesome team getting involved nice and early today. Well, look, Wednesday, Property Management Wednesdays. Here we go. Grant saying cold. Yeah, I bet it is, Grant. I probably can't compete with that being up here in Queensland, can I? But good to know, mate. Good to know. Well, team, look, Property Management Wednesdays. If you guys have sort of met me and seen me around before, we talk all things property management. We talk through some stories, some war stories, and I've got another cracker one today. We talk through some strategies and, hopefully from time to time we come up with some solutions as well. And that's the objective again for another Property Management Wednesday. Today's topic, and for those that are part of the 6-star team, as that intro alluded to, some cool stuff happening within the mentoring group. And I saw a post a day or two ago, and it was about one of the clients who has found come across one of their tenants running a business or a practice, some sort of operation, I suppose, in their rental property, right? And kind of interesting conversation sort of unfolded from that. And I thought, I've seen this from time to time. If you don't know, team, I've sort of been within the industry anyway for 13 years and seen a few things, experienced a few things, good and bad. And that's why we come on here at about 8 every Wednesday to come and share some of these stories. So today I thought we'd continue on this conversation for those that didn't see it. What happens when you come across one of your properties where your tenant is actually running a business out of that home? Is this legal? What do you need to know as the landlord, as the investor? Is it okay? Should we panic? Should we not? Right? Don't panic. Don't do that. That's not what you guys need to do. But team, I think to kick off today's conversation, certainly this little story, I suppose, started where the routine inspection got held by the property manager, and in this situation was in Queensland. And for those that don't know, if you've got a property in Queensland, legally you can do routine inspections every 3 months, potentially Victoria 6 months, and other states and territories might be in between that 3 and 6 month period. And we worked through that process. The agent has obviously gone to the property. They've inspected it. They've sent through some photos and a bit of a report back to the owner, which then showed that there was some sort of business operation within the home. 3-bedroom investment property, sort of displayed that maybe there was only one occupant in there. And, what does this mean? Is this a work from home situation like myself where I've just got my laptop and I'm doing my thing? Perhaps not. Fully functioning operation here, and what that could mean is that there's some more customers coming to the property, right? There's more occupants in the home. There's more wear and tear on the home. There's potentially some other risk we need to look at. So I thought we'd have a conversation today about that. Put in the chat if you've ever experienced this in one of your investment properties. Be interested to know how common or rare this might be. So as I said, 13 years in the industry, I've only come across this a few times, and there's a few ways to handle it, team. And like I said, panicking is certainly not one strategy I would implore. So yeah, pop it in the chat if you've experienced this yourself. Be good to know. But in this situation where perhaps you as a landlord, and maybe the property manager in this case, felt a little bit blindsided by what was going on, and that can normally be the initial feeling that you might be experiencing, right? You're like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? I wasn't told of this. You think back to the application stage. So I want to give you I just want to cover about 7 bullet points on that topic, if that's cool with you guys, what you guys need to know if this ever happens to you. So you guys sort of know me by now a little bit. We talk about keep you safe and make you wealthy, and part of this information today and insight is all about keeping you safe, right? And I think number one, we need to go back to the application process and do some due diligence on that. So number one, I would say that maybe there was a lack of due diligence. This is not with our firm, but you want to kind of understand what happened at the tenant selection process, what was maybe on the application, what was missing on the application, what questions were asked or not asked, for us to not understand, the tenant's reason for the property or reason for moving, why they left the last one, why they needed to be in that particular area or suburb. Sometimes as a landlord, if we don't know these details, you kind of don't know someone's purpose, you don't know someone's objective. And again, if you don't have those main sort of, we talk about 4-step process around, selecting tenants. Perhaps one of those items or steps was missed, right? Potentially could be the case. So number one, do your due diligence. Trying to get those words out on a Monday. It's not Monday, it's Wednesday. There you go. So I might have another sip of coffee, team. Number two, right? We're going to understand the tenant, right? The tenant in this case, if they're running a business out of your investment property, we want to understand. They need to understand anyway, but we also want to understand that, maybe their business requires some sort of council approval, right? There's some compliance, potentially legislation in place there around that business operation. Number three, if a tenant wants to run a business out of your investment property, team, you've got to get that in writing. They need to submit that in writing and that request and say, hey, I'm looking to run a business out of this property, and obviously get that approved from you to begin with. So, maybe this would have been a different situation if that was done in the first place 3 months ago. Potentially, the owner wouldn't have felt blindsided by it, and a different conversation could have been had, because as I said from the top, right, if you've got a tenant who's running a business out of their home, potentially more wear and tear through the home, given they are going to have more customers coming in and out of the property. That wear and tear is not a tenant responsibility, and therefore, in general terms, it comes under your cost. But maybe running a business might be a different situation, right? Again, going back to sort of compliance and laws, if you're a tenant running a business, you've got to make sure you have the right licenses, depending on which type of business, I suppose, you're running. So that's interesting, and obviously they've got to supply that to you as the owner, as the well, at least to the agent anyway, if the agent's doing their job, right? And in number 5 team, they've got to make sure that they've got public liability. It's probably something we don't think about a lot. I can probably guarantee this property manager hasn't thought about it, but certainly if a tenant's running their own business out of the home, even if you have approved it, right? Even if you have approved it, you need to ensure that you get copies of their public liability insurance, right? Again, keeping you safe. I'm going to make sure we do that, team. So please make sure if you're going to allow a tenant to run a business out of your home, that you've got some of these things covered, given that there may be increased traffic and customers coming through the home. The reason we ask for copies of this sort of stuff, team, so whether it's licenses, public liability insurance, is because, we need you guys to then go check with your insurer and see if that alters anything. It may affect you in a way where it could affect your excess, it could affect your policy, it could affect your premium, given obviously the different policies you may have. So, it's certainly, again, going back to doing your due diligence, doing your checks on this stuff, again, keeping you safe. That's the objective here, team. We talk about it on a Wednesday morning, and I know on other episodes of Wealth Coffee Chats, right, holding real estate for a long period of time is generally our goal. We want that passive income into the future. But I suppose, to get to that 10, 15, 20-year mark, we've got to understand how to hold this real estate for a very long time. And we were doing a bit of a webinar the other week, and, certainly what we uncovered is, challenges throughout your holding phase of your journey are just normal. They're part of the gig, team. But if you got your 6-star team around you, you're pretty okay most of the time, right? So again, you got to check with your insurer team. And probably the last one, depending on the situation, the next step might be engaging your property manager to, issue, in Queensland, we call it a Form 11, remedy notice to breach. You may have a sort of similar term, breach notice, let's call it, in your state or territory. But essentially, you can obviously have a conversation with the tenant, find out what's really going on here. Now, in this situation, they might give the tenant the benefit of the doubt and have a conversation, and it might get resolved quite quickly. But obviously, if those first 6 points I just mentioned are not adhered to or not met, then perhaps the tenant hasn't met their obligations, but potentially they are in breach, or they would be in breach of their tenancy agreement at a minimum, let alone if they don't have the right licenses and things like that, then this could cause some more problems down the track. So, you can certainly go down that path of breach notices and things like that if that's where you need to go. What do I learn from this story? It'll keep happening if people are not on top of it. That's for sure, because it's not the first time I've come across this in 13 years in the industry. And for those that know me, I've worked in multiple cities and things like that, and it doesn't matter on the location necessarily. And it's all coming back to 2 things for me, and it's around keeping you safe, right? I know we've spoken about it a little bit on Wealth Coffee Chats in the past, and a lot of you guys one-on-one, but go back to 2 things. The things you can control. Number 1, at the open home, when your property manager or leasing consultant or whoever the property manager is having this conversation and engaging with the prospective tenant, what dialogue is actually happening at that open home, right? I was sitting with one of the new guys in our office, and I was sort of showing him and saying to him, hey, when this person comes through, yes, I'm going to give him some space, but hey, I want to know, hey, what's the reason for the move, right? Why are you moving from your last place? Where are you moving from? Is, particular reason you need this suburb, right? Maybe the kids go to school. Maybe your business is close by your workplace. Why do I ask those questions? I just want to understand a little bit about the prospective tenant who, is going to reside in our investors' properties, because we can avoid this stuff. If I know this up front, we can have the conversation, obviously. And if we're going to proceed, we can put some framework in place, again, at the end of the day, to keep the owner safe, to keep the tenant safe at the same time. And we don't encounter, bigger problems down the track. Charles, jump on as well. Good morning to you, mate. Hope you caught on the last 10 minutes, mate. But that's okay. If anyone's watching this on replay, awesome. Welcome and good morning to you as well. And the last thing, team, is, post those open home conversations, dialogue, understanding who the tenant potentially is that is applying for your property. What does that tenant selection process look like? Yeah, we talk about normal things around proof of income and rental references and things like that, and they're great and they give you a really good snapshot on what's going on. But what are some of the other things that property managers can do, or the really good property managers will do anyway, to get a bit more of a helicopter view on the prospective tenant into your home? Super important. Obviously, a lot of property managers are not doing that, which is sort of why I'm so passionate about coming here at 8:10 and talking about it, because if I can get you guys some more information, some more insight, share some more war stories with you guys, then I think everyone will be in a better position. Like I said, holding real estate, this thing we call property management, day in, day out, there are challenges. That's normal, but certainly, you can put some great framework, strategies, team in place to sort of, I suppose, avoid these situations and get yourself moving forward, right, to the things that do matter, and that's moving towards your goals. Chris says in here, it's landlord's market. You can be more selective. Yeah, and sifting through prospective tenants, you can, Chris, 100%. If you've done the right thing with the open homes and you've got to a situation when you've got multiple applications, certainly, you're going to be in a better position, right? And say you guys are in the driver's seat. Ask the questions, get the information, and all will be. You'll often find you'll end up with less problems than more, team. That's for sure. So listen, team, that 15 minutes flew by. I just looked at the time, so I better jump off in a second. But team, as always, email across the bottom. Any questions, war stories, love to hear it. Always, never a day goes by where you're not learning something new. I hope that story doesn't happen to you, but I'll tell you what, if it does, there's a few bullet points there from today's little chat to help you navigate through that situation if that ever comes across your desk. Always, I'm here to help. Reach out if you need to. That's me done and dusted, team. Thank you again, as always, for jumping on a Wednesday for property management. And I wish you guys a good day. If you're following the Origin, go the Blues. Sorry, not sorry to the Queenslanders in here, but that's me. Done and dusted, team. I'll catch you guys next week for another episode. Don't forget, tomorrow, 8:10, Jason is back. I have got that right this time. And he'll take you through another Wealth Coffee Chat, team. You guys have a lovely Wednesday. Chat soon.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.